Short goals make pain easy. Short goals make pain easy. When I had my injury, I realized the only thing that got me through it was those small breaths that turned into big breaths that repeated in and out, in and out. And it was that repetition that got me through the moment. And the way that I look at that as that occurrence of what had happened and how I'm overcoming it, how I'm overcoming the excruciating pain that I'm in 24/7, and what was way worse in the beginning with those short breaths is these big, hairy, audacious goals that we all set for ourselves because we hear some guru or some coach or some motivator, or we watch some TV show, and it's just the culturally accepted thing to do now with self-help and being an entrepreneur or being a better person. You got to write your goals down. We tend to create these big, hairy, audacious goals, and half-heartedly we think, how could we ever achieve these goals? Is this even probable? Are we being too irrational? And come on, I've been there. I'm sure you have too. You get totally freaked out with them. You end up putting them to the side. You write them down somewhere. You never look at them again. And you'll have people that will totally vouch, like Jim Carrey will say, hey, I wrote down my goal. I put it in my wallet of making $10 million my first movie. And I did. And that's great. But I want to think about those giant goals like the giant amount of pain that I was in when this freaking ATV flipped over and landed on my arm going like who knows how fast, and I couldn't feel it. It was all mangled. That pain, that excruciating pain, was like that big, hairy, audacious goal. And the only thing that got me through that pain was moment by moment, breath by breath, inhale, exhale. So if we look at moment by moment, breath by breath as each day of our journey to accomplishing those big, hairy, audacious goals, and my goal was just to get through the pain, right? At first it was to just get to the hospital. Well, just getting to the hospital is a metaphor, and those breaths that got me there without going crazy in pain was the hospital being my big, hairy, audacious goal. So you want to earn $1 million. Well, what can you do each breath or each day to reverse engineer that and break that down and just focus on the day? Success is the process, not the event. I've been hearing that a lot lately. And if you really think about that, the event is what we think we want or we think we need to fill whatever hole is in us, whatever we feel like we're missing. Like, oh, life would be so much better if I had this, or if I was here, or if I was seen as that. That's the event. But the event is only the effect of the cause, and the cause is the journey. The cause is every little breath. The cause is, what are you doing today? What is your process? What is the thing you're going to put off or get to work on, that if you do that each and every day, and it's not pretty, it's not glorious, it's actually pretty fucking lonely. But what is that thing that you know you need to do today to overcome that pain, to reach that goal? Those little breaths. And I remember looking back and seeing myself mangled, thinking, I want to get to the hospital so I can get some medication, and I want to fix this. All my plans, all the things I got to do. But the only thing that's going to get me there, get me to that event, are these little breaths. And it was like a moment of clarity, because I have not been in the past someone who has chosen that enlightened spiritual state of meditation and yoga, and that's not been my intrinsic self-culture. And in that moment, it's like I knew that's what needed to be done to be able to control my consciousness, control my mind, to get to that event, to get to that goal of just not totally freaking out. And it's the same thing in our life, in our business. Whatever goal we have is just not going to happen in a day, but it will happen daily if we stick to those small breaths, those small daily activities done repetitiously, not even perfectly, just done every day, those small little breaths. So what are your small little breaths? Forget about the goal. Once you figure out what your goal is, based on what really makes you tick, right? What is the purpose of that goal? Once we figure that goal out, what are the little breaths? What are the little daily activities done day in and day out that will overcome your pain and get you to that event? Because you realize when you get to the event, it was the satisfaction from knowing that you just did what you didn't want to do. That dopamine rush, that endorphin rush of accomplishing your goal of the day in and day out, that's what makes your life worth living. Because there is no shiny event. Maybe on the other side, on our last breath, our dying wish, we'll wake up in a new reality that's blissful. But that isn't right now. The only bliss right now is the decision you make right now between whatever's happening to you and your proposed response. It's a decision between what is happening to you and what you choose to do with that. So think about those small breaths. And I'll see you on the other side.